안전 보장과 사태 확산 방지를 위해 최우선 조치를 취하고 있습니다.
Alright, welcome back to the PookiePopcorn, where I'll be introducing to you the most astonishing movies worth watching. Today we're diving into the cinematic brilliance of a 2016 production by director Yong Sang-ho, Train to Busan. To give a quick summary of the film, it's basically about a man who's with his estranged daughter trapped on a speeding train along with other passengers during a zombie outbreak in South Korea. While the train was shooting towards Busan, the passengers fought for their families and lives against the zombies and each other. Train to Busan is potentially an allegory for revolt against capitalism gone unchecked, in that it presents the four ways in which self-serving actors will create havoc in times of crisis for the rest of the collective groups.
Firstly, we notice how many close shots were used throughout the film to express the various emotions of the characters. First, anger. A close shot of Seong-woo beating up Yoon-sok. Because of Yoon-sok's selfish nature, where the characters' respective emotion of anger and fear could be seen more clearly. The scene was also captured by both high and low angle shots to accentuate the power Seong-woo holds at that moment and to diminish Yoon-sok. Having both high and low angle shots helps to heighten the imbalance of power. Here's another scene showing the close-up of both characters' reaction rather than focusing on how the crowd feels. In this scene, the selfishness of others in the cabin involves a sense of betrayal in the grandma, who didn't manage to assist her innocent sister. A zooming shot captured impulsive thoughts, foreshadowing what would happen next. Second, fear. In this next scene, the train conductor makes a stop due to obstruction in front of him. The first close-up is when his wobbly hand picks up the telephone, followed by deep breathing. Both close-ups express a deep sense of fright and bravery of him to inform the rest of the passengers. Lastly, when Yong-hook threw Jin-hee towards the chasing zombie, he selfishly ran away despite her getting beaten. The use of close-up shot along with Yong-gook's hopelessly crying, creating a sense of fear. After Jin-hee is beaten and Yong-gook carries her with tears, the long shot is used to show a sense of grief for Jin-hee and sacrifice the suffering with her. Moving on, let's talk about another heavily used skill throughout the film, tracking. Tracking shot is important as it helps to capture the audience's attention more. It makes them feel as if from their point of view, immersing them forward into the film. Tracking was used more commonly in areas of the film where zombies were shown chasing and attacking the passengers, making us wonder where an individual was going on and what was going to happen next.
Next up, we have depth of field. There were several scenes involving the use of rec focus to reveal elements, such as showcasing how each individual felt, which simply creates a connection without the flow between shots to be interrupted by cuts. Here's the first rec focus scene. The initial focus was on Soo-an inside the car, followed by a shift to the outside world. This symbolism effectively suggests that something significant is on the verge of happening to the world. Another rec focus was used here, when three of them were prepping themselves to fight 6 zombie-filled cabins to find Soo-an and Song-young. When Sang-hwa talks to Yong-gook, the focus is on Yong-gook, and when Sang-hwa talks to Seok-woo, the focus is back on Sang-hwa. Rec focus can be employed with the specific intent of highlighting a character in action or directing attention to something else non-verbally. Following that, a scene that we believe left a deep impression on all of us was when the flashback of happy memories began to fill Seok-woo's mind before he willingly jumped off the train. The use of soft focus here helped create a dreamy and warm atmosphere, building a sentimental connection with the audience when transitioning to and fro from flashback to present. Another thing we noticed is the deliberate slowing down of scenes, which skillfully accentuates the overall tension which the film ties strongly with, utilizing the pace of motion to effectively amplify heightened suspense. Hence, slow motion is effectively used to portray each character's fear and panic in the film, dramatizing each scene. This technique not only slows down time, but also encourages the audience to lean forward in anticipation.
A notable costume design notice is the business attire that the majority had, especially with these two characters, Seok-woo and Yeon-sok. At the start of the film, Seok-woo is a typical businessman with stereotypical traits like greed and selfishness, who holds little morals towards others except for his only living family, his daughter. Slowly, he changes and grows out of these terrible values due to the other people he has met throughout, softening up for the sake of his daughter who disliked that side of him. Loosening up his businesswear by taking off his suit and tie, a key visualization of him becoming more open. As compared to Yeon-suk, his character remained constant. Visualized by him still wearing the suit and tie, he is literally a living embodiment of greed and selfishness. He is a businessman true and true and will do anything to achieve his goals even when the world is ending. Both of these characters are two sides of the same coin. Despite having come from the same industry, each of them showcases the good and the ugly side of human nature when thrown into a life or death situation, cementing both of their characters in this scene where they are confronted in the tight space of the cabin to escape the zombies. The key set design that will be prominent in this film is the train cabins. Throughout the film, we follow Sok-woo along with the set of characters running away from the threats, aka the zombies, from the outside world to the train station and most importantly to the train cabins. In a film where death is all around, with rabid hordes of killing machines coming to get you, the last thing anybody would want to be in is an enclosed space. With only having a two-dimensional plane for our characters to work with, front and back, and not having many evasive maneuvers towards the sides are given due to the cramped nature of the set. This creates scenes that were already tense and hopeless enough to a worrying degree as the limited space exudes a claustrophobic atmosphere. This enhances the hopelessness that every character might be feeling towards the viewers as it creates uncertainty as to who might come out alive.
That being said, the good use of film techniques captured in the film was able to create a strong impact to leave impressions, making us feel for the characters throughout the film, such as hating on how inhumane Yeon-suk was, as well as respecting Sang-hwa for his bravery to sacrifice his life in order to save the other commuters, even though some were strangers. But other than this, why else should one bother watching the film then? Well, the film does spread a number of messages. The film succeeds in forming a strong connection with the audience by emphasizing on basic human morals and decency. It showcases how strong love can be that one sacrifice their life for someone they deeply care about, while having characters like Yeon-suk help to prove how selfish one can be in such near-death situations, taking advantage of others' vulnerable moments solely for their own survival. Props need to be given to the director of Train to Busan for being able to create such a film using numerous film literacy, along with showing the reality of how cruel society can be. We'll give this film 10 out of 10 PookiePopcorns!